The old man, the alien prison was cold and full of metal. Bright lights shone from the ceiling and strange machines made humming sounds. In the center of the room sat an old man. His hands were chained. His white beard touched his chest, and his eyes were tired but sharp, like a soldier who had seen too many wars. 5 tall aliens stood around him. Their skin was blue and smooth. Their eyes glowed yellow. They laughed as they looked at him. "Is this the last human general?" One alien said. "He's too old to fight," said another. "Humans are weak," the leader said. "They cry, they break, they run." But the old man said nothing. He sat still, like a mountain. His name was General Marcus Rain. He had once commanded armies. He had lost everything, his planet, his people, his family, but he had not lost his spirit. "You think we are weak?" Marcus finally said. His voice was slow but strong. "You call yourselves hunters, predators." The alien smiled, showing sharp teeth. Marcus leaned forward. "But you forget one thing. You may be predators, but we are apex predators." The alien stopped laughing. 3 months earlier, Earth burned. Giant alien ships floated in the sky. Their weapons were too strong, their technology too advanced. Cities fell in days. Millions died. The alien empire, known as the Drekar, thought it would be easy, and it was, at first. But humans are strange creatures. They do not give up. Even when everything is lost, they fight. They hide. They plan. Marcus Rain watched the fall from a secret base in the mountains. He was old then too, but his mind was sharp. He had studied war all his life. He knew this invasion was not the end, it was the beginning. "Evacuate the cities," he said to his team. "Burn the data, go underground." "But sir," one soldier said, "we can't win." Marcus looked at her. "We don't need to win now. We need to survive. Let the Drekar think we're finished. Let them relax." The soldier nodded. She understood. This was not surrender. This was strategy. Back to the present. The Drekar commander walked closer to Marcus. He was taller than any human. His armor was shiny and red. His name was Karan Vak. "You speak boldly, human," Karan said. "But you are alone. Your people are dead." Marcus looked up slowly. "That's what you think. But predators should know better than to leave prey alive." The ship's lights flickered. A strange noise echoed through the room. Karan looked around. "What is that?" Marcus smiled. "That is your mistake arriving." In space, near the Drekar prison ship, a small black vessel moved like a shadow. It was not built by the Drekar, it was human, and it was dangerous. Inside it, young soldiers in black armor checked their weapons. They were silent, focused, trained by Marcus himself, long ago. Their leader whispered, "Phase 1 complete, Phase 2 in 60 seconds. They were not here to escape. They were here to send a message. Back in the prison. Corin grabbed Marcus by the collar. "Tell me what's happening." "You wouldn't believe me," Marcus said calmly. "But you'll see." Alarms rang. Red lights flashed. The Drekar soldiers ran to their stations. Marcus stood. The chains on his hands fell off. Somehow, they had been unlocked. "I told you," he said, walking toward Corin. "We are not prey. We are the storm that hunts the hunters." The walls shook. Explosions outside. Screams. Human weapons were tearing through the alien ship's defenses. The Drekar were skilled in hunting, but they hunted things that ran, things that hid. They had never faced something that studied them, copied them, and struck back harder. And now they had awakened something they could not control. Marcus stood tall in the chaos. His eyes were fire. His people had returned. The fall of Earth, for the Drekar Council, watched the blue planet from orbit. Earth turned slowly beneath them, beautiful but broken. Smoke rose from cities. Human military bases were dark. Radio signals were gone. High Commander Corin Vak stood in front of the others. His eyes glowed yellow with pride. Earth is taken, he said. The humans are finished. The council clapped their claws together. One of them laughed. We should make this planet a hunting ground. The last ones can run and we will chase them. Corin nodded. Let them hide. They will die tired. But not all Drekker were so sure. A young officer named Vel hissed quietly. They fought. Harder than we expected, he said to another. Too organized, too clever. Bah, said the other Drekkar. They are primitive. Just lucky. Vel looked down at Earth again. Something didn't feel right. On Earth, smoke covered the skies of New York, Beijing, and Moscow. Alien walkers moved through the ruins. Drones scanned buildings. Drekkar soldiers collected prisoners. Humans were taken to camps. Many were injured. Some cried. Some stared with empty eyes. But a few watched. They watched the Drekkar move. They learned how the patrols worked, how the drones flew, how the weapons glowed before firing. One boy in a prison camp whispered to his sister, "They think we're done." His sister asked, "Aren't we?" He shook his head. "Not yet." My teacher said General Rain was still alive. Somewhere in the mountains of Alaska, a bunker door opened with a hiss. Inside, lights flickered on. Maps covered the walls. Screens showed hidden cameras from all over the world. Marcus Rain stood in the middle of the room, his hands behind his back. He looked at his team, scientists, soldiers, hackers, and engineers. "Status?" he asked. A woman stepped forward. "We found 3 alien shipwrecks in the forests. We've studied their tech. We think we can copy their cloaking systems." Another man added, "The underground network is growing. Resistance groups are active in 22 zones." Marcus nodded. "Good. We don't need to fight them head-on. We need to bleed them little by little." A soldier frowned. "But sir, we've lost so much. Cities, armies, millions of people." Marcus turned slowly to face them. "Yes, we've lost. But that's what makes humans dangerous." He pointed to an old photograph on the wall. It showed wolves hunting in the snow. We adapt. We survive. And when the time is right, we strike. In orbit, Commander Karan walked through the alien command ship. His steps were heavy. His thoughts were strange. He had studied human history. He saw their wars, their violence, their strange way of fighting even when they were losing. Why didn't they surrender? He asked the AI. The ship's AI replied, "Because humans don't think like us. Their survival drive is extreme. They do not fear extinction." Corin didn't like that answer. Deep underground, in Africa, a human girl sat in a dark room, tapping on a glowing screen. She was just 16, but her code had already broken into Drekkar communication channels. "Intercepting transmission from Corin Vuk," she whispered. Her fingers moved fast. On the screen appeared, "Begin extraction of remaining human. Leaders. Target Marcus Rain." She smiled. Too late. On the other side of the planet, a silent drone flew over a snowy forest. It scanned the area, then static. A flash. The drone fell, smoking. A group of humans hidden in snowsuits dragged it into the trees. One of them opened a panel and pulled out a glowing power cell. "Perfect," he said. "We can power 3 more jammers with this." They looked up at the sky. "We're not done, we're just warming up." Back in space, Commander Corin stood in silence as a new message appeared on his screen. It was a video, short and human-made. It showed a hooded figure in the shadows. The voice was deep and clear. "You think we're hiding because we are afraid, but you've only seen the surface. We are not broken. We are not extinct. We are waiting. And when we rise, your empire will fall." The message ended with one symbol, a wolf. Human Shadows, Drekkar, Historical Archives, Classified Log Entry Historian, Vex Tal, Year 1, Post-Earthfall. Subject, the human problem. We conquered their cities. We took their leaders. We silenced their broadcasts. So why are they still fighting? The alien historian Vex Tal was not a soldier. He never held a weapon. But he had a different tool, curiosity. He studied conquered species, wrote reports for the Drekar Empire and explained how wars were won. But the humans confused him. Vextal watched footage from the last 6 months. Alien ships exploded. Patrols vanished in the jungle. Weapons stopped working in strange ways. He leaned forward on his desk. "This is not chaos," he whispered. "This is coordination." He zoomed in on a blurry video. 6 humans in black armor entering a Drekar outpost. No emblems, no known weapons. They moved like shadows. They left no bodies, no broadcasts, just silence. Log note: these are not wild survivors. They are trained. They are planning something. Meanwhile, in the asteroid belt, a giant rock floated in space. Inside, humans had built a hidden base. They lived in tunnels, used solar power, and grew food. In hydrodomes, it had no name, only a code: Fort Echo. Marcus Rain stood at the command table. His beard was shorter now, his uniform was patched, but his eyes still burned with fire. "Report," he said. A young officer pulled up a hologram. "We have Drekar ship paths, supply lines, weak spots. They think no one is watching." Marcus nodded. "Good. Time to start hurting them." Another officer stepped forward. "We've upgraded the cloaking system, borrowed tech, works better than theirs now." He smiled. "They won't see us coming." On a Drekar mining moon, 3 alien workers walked toward a control station. The air smelled of metal and oil. One stopped. "Do you hear that?" The others shook their heads. Then came a whisper. A soft click-click in the shadows. One by one, the lights went out. When the guards arrived 10 minutes later, the control station was offline. The fuel cells were missing. The workers were gone. No alarms, no witnesses, just one word written on the wall burned in by laser apex back on Fort Echo in a dark room. Marcus spoke to his lieutenants. "We are not here to win battles," he said. "We are here to break belief." They listened quietly. "They think we're beaten, but we're everywhere. Underground, in orbit, in their systems." A woman, with cybernetic eyes, nodded. "Our code is inside their fleet AI. We're learning every move." Marcus smiled slightly. "Good. Let them keep laughing. Every time they do, we grow stronger." Drekar Council ship Korenvak watched a map of the galaxy. Red lights showed safe Drekar zones. Yellow meant minor resistance. Blue meant serious trouble. The blue lights were spreading. "This makes no sense," Koren growled. "They lost everything. How are they doing this?" Vextal stood nearby. He held a tablet full of human history. "You don't understand their kind," he said. "They have stories of heroes who fight even after death. They believe in revenge, in sacrifice." He paused. "Their strength is not in weapons. It is in their mind." Koren slammed the table. "Find them. I want this General Rain dead. Unknown." Location: Human Black Ops Unit. A team of 6 soldiers knelt in a cave surrounded by glowing alien tech. One checked his rifle. Another watched the scanner. Their leader, a woman with a scar over one eye, spoke softly. "New orders. Target Drekar AI relay on Titan, infiltration only, leave no trace." Someone asked, "Why not destroy it?" She looked at them. "Because we're not just hitting them, we're watching what scares them most." "What's that?" She smiled. "Us." End of part 3. Vextal finished writing his report. They do not march like armies. They move like whispers. They do not attack to win territory. They attack to send fear. We thought they were gone, but we were wrong. They are shadows now, and shadows always return before the storm. The trapped Drekar Victory Hall, outer orbit of Saturn. Glowing lights danced across the black stone walls. Alien music filled the chamber, low drums and sharp horns. The Drekar were celebrating. Commanders from across the galaxy stood on the raised platform. Their glasses were full. Their claws clicked in rhythm. Hollow screens behind them showed burning Earth cities and captured human bases. Commander Karan Vak raised his cup. "The humans are finished," he said. "Soon, General Rain will be captured. Our victory will be complete." The aliens roared. Pride filled the room, but none of them noticed that one of the screens flickered, then glitched. Just for a second, an image flashed, a wolf's eyes. Then it was gone. Far above, in the rings of Saturn, a small black ship floated among ice and dust, silent, cloaked, invisible. Inside, General Marcus Rain stood beside a younger officer. His face was lit by red light. "They're in position?" he asked. The officer nodded. 12 Drekar cruisers, all celebrating. Weapons off, shields low. They think we're dead. Marcus narrowed his eyes. "Then it's time to remind them." He looked across the room at his team. Phase 1, start the eclipse. Back in the Drekar hall, suddenly, the room shook. "Report," Corin shouted. A guard ran in. "Commander, all communications just dropped. Satellite links offline. Shields failing." Corin's smile faded. "What?" Then the lights died. The celebration turned into chaos. From the shadows, hidden speakers echoed a deep, calm human voice. "You forgot one thing, Commander. Predators don't celebrate until the hunt is over." Above, human fleet emerges like ghosts from the dark. 5 human stealth ships appeared. Black, sharp, silent. They moved fast, striking first at engines and control towers. No warning, no mercy. Inside the lead ship, Commander Shaw barked orders. "Target ship 5. Disable only. Let them send a distress call. We want them afraid." Laser fire cut across space. Drekar ships exploded or drifted helpless. One Drekar, Captain screamed into a broken radio. "They're supposed to be extinct." The response was simple. "We are. And that's why you never saw us coming." On the ground, Saturn mining colony. A Drekar facility was operating as usual. Then, one by one, the doors locked. The lights turned red. Outside, human dropships landed silently. They didn't shout. They didn't talk. They moved like shadows. One Drekar scientist hid under a table. He watched as a human in dark armor placed a device on the wall and walked away. It beeped once. Then it played a message. "This is for Chicago, for Rio, for Nairobi, for Earth." Boom. Commander Corin's escape ship. Corin sat inside his fast ship, watching the destruction. "How is this possible?" he whispered. "How did we not see them?" Vex Tal, the historian, stood behind him, calm. "They were never gone, Commander. They were watching, waiting, learning." Corin clenched his jaw. "They'll pay for this." Vex Tal shook his head. "They don't care about revenge. They want you to know they're smarter." A pause. "They want fear." Fort Echo. Human base Marcus stood over a large star map. His officers surrounded him. One pointed to blinking lights. "We hit 4 ships, 3 colonies, 1 listening post. Total Drekar casualties, unknown." Marcus nodded. "Now step 2. We send them a gift." Everyone turned to him. Marcus smiled darkly. "The trap wasn't the attack. The trap is their response." Drekar War Council. Emergency meeting. 100 commanders screamed over each other. Maps showed red zones expanding. One slammed his fist. "They want war." Corin stood, quiet at first. "No," he said. "They want us to chase them." He stared at the map. "And we will." End of Part 4. From a shadowed control room, a human operator whispered into a comlink. "Bait taken. The wolves are watching." Somewhere in space, Marcus Rain leaned back in his chair and whispered, "Let the Empire come. The real hunt begins now." Predator Talk Drekker Intelligence Log. Interrogator Unit 9. Subject, human prisoner. Rain Marcus. Status, captured. Alive. Unbroken. The walls were cold. The lights were dim. A single chair sat in the center of the room. In it sat an old human. Hair gray. Beard rough. Eyes sharp. General Marcus Rain. Across from him stood Vorak, a master interrogator of the Drekkar Empire. He had broken warlords, leaders, and rebel kings, but this man just sat. No fear, no weakness, just stillness. Vorak's first log, entry 001. The human was captured outside the ruins of Cairo. No weapons, no armor. He surrendered calmly. He looked me in the eye and said, "Took you long enough. I have never met a species so arrogant." Vorak circled him like a beast. "You started this resistance," Vorak growled. Rain didn't answer. "You caused the Saturn ambush, the mining moon attacks, the blackout on Titan." Still, the old man was quiet. "You're going to tell me how," Vorak hissed, "or I will make you." Rain looked up finally. He smiled. "You still don't get it, do you?" Vorak's second log, entry 002. "He smiles too much. That's not normal. He doesn't fear pain, doesn't ask for food." I offered comfort. Silence. He refused both. "He wants something." Rain leaned forward slightly. "You Drekkar call yourselves predators," he said. "You hunt, you kill, you win." Vorak snorted. "We are the top of the food chain." Rain chuckled, then said it. "You're predators, but we are apex predators." Vorak froze. "Explain." Rain stood slowly, stretching his shoulders. "You chase. We wait. You fight to win. We fight to survive. You fight wars. We fight extinction." He pointed to the camera in the corner. "You study us like animals, but you don't see what we really are." Vorak narrowed his eyes. "And what is that?" Rain leaned close. "The last thing you see when the lights go out." Vorak's third log, entry 003. "He's not afraid because he planned this. He wanted to be caught. I ordered the room scanned. We found a micro-beacon inside his boot, a signal. He led us to him, so his people could find us." Suddenly, alarms blared outside the interrogation room. Red lights, doors locking, screams echoing in the halls. Rain sat down again, calm as ever. "What did you do?" Vorak roared. Rain looked up with cold eyes. "I'm not the trap, Vorak." He smiled. "I'm the bait." Outside, human stealth team infiltration. 3 shadow-suited humans moved through the Drekkar base. One whispered into her mic. "Target located. Signal confirmed. Package ready for extraction." Explosions echoed in the distance. Drekkar guards ran everywhere, but too late. The base had been blind the whole time. Cameras looped, doors hacked, power flickered. The humans weren't just rescuing Marcus Rain. They were planting devices. Back inside, Vorak slammed the emergency comm. "Seal the chamber." But the door opened instead. Rain stood up, brushing off his old coat. "Nice talking, Vorak." A flash grenade dropped. Light exploded. When Vorak opened his eyes again, Rain was gone. Only the chair remained, spinning slowly. Vorak's final log, entry 004. "The human escaped. His team left false intel, leading us to send a fleet into a trap. The interrogation was a show. He was studying me. This war is not about weapons anymore. It's about understanding your enemy. And the humans understand us better than we understand them." Empire cracks. Perspective 1. Drekkar soldier, Private Rekth, Outer Colony, Planet Varnock. 3 Rekth stood at the border wall, holding his plasma rifle tight. The jungle beyond was quiet. Too quiet. A week ago, this was a stronghold. Now, half the systems were down. Lights flickered. Food delivery stopped. He looked at his comm link. No signal. Again. His officer had said, humans did something to the satellites. But no one knew how. Rekth had started hearing things. Whispers in the dark. Shadows moving. Friends disappearing. One morning, a message was found, burned into the barracks wall. "We are already inside." Rekth wasn't laughing anymore. Perspective 2. Drekkar Admiral, High Orbit Command Ship, Devourer. Admiral Serkai paced on the bridge. The galaxy map looked wrong. Whole sectors were offline, ships unresponsive, AI networks corrupted. One of his officers reported, "Admiral, our encryption has failed again. Human code is adapting." Serkai clenched his claws. "Then adapt. Faster." The officer hesitated. "Sergei, we lost another command base, exploded from inside, no battle." "Sabotage," Serkai growled. He looked out the window at the stars. "They aren't fighting us head-on anymore. They're breaking the Empire from within." Perspective 3. Human hacker. Codename, Ghostlight. Location, unknown, Ghostlight. Sat in a cold, silent room. Screens glowed all around him. Fingers moved fast over a cracked keyboard. He wasn't a soldier. He didn't carry a gun. But he was a weapon. On one screen, a Drekar supply fleet's schedule. On another, a command center's AI system. On a third, a timer ticking down. He smiled. "Let's make some cracks." He pressed enter. Somewhere far away, alarms began to scream. Perspective 1. Rekth again. That night, the power went out. Rekth sat in the dark with 5 other soldiers. They all stared at the door. Suddenly, a red light blinked on his wrist pad. But it wasn't a warning. It was music? A slow, rising human song. Old Earth. Military drums. Then a voice. "We're not here to fight you. We're here to make you doubt. Empires don't fall from war, they fall from inside." Rekth dropped his gun. Perspective 2. Admiral Serkai again. A technician shouted, "Sir, internal systems are locking up. Command override triggered." "Whose command?" Serkai roared, no answer. Then, on every screen, a human face appeared. Marcus. Rain smiling. He said one thing. "You ruled the stars with fear. We will take them back with hope." Then the ship's engines powered down. Perspective 3. Ghostlight again. More systems fell. A Drekar war factory froze. Drone armies shut down. Fleets stopped responding. Ghostlight leaned back and breathed deep. He looked up at a wall of old photos. Earth cities. Fallen comrades. Family. "This isn't revenge," he whispered. "This is balance." Meanwhile, Fort Echo Marcus Rain stood at a long glass window watching space. A young officer walked in. "They're cracking, sir, just like you said." Rain nodded. "Predators don't expect the prey to learn." Another officer smiled. "What now?" Rain didn't turn. He just said, "Now we remind them why we survived. Not because we're stronger, but because we never break." Perspective 1. Rekth. Final log entry. Rekth stood at the edge of the base, staring into the jungle. He didn't see humans, but he felt them, waiting, watching, whispering. He looked down at his rifle. Then he did something unthinkable. He set it down. End of part 6. Somewhere in the stars, human systems lit up in green. Encrypted messages were sent. Drekker Empire fractured. 47% systems offline. Psychological breakdown, in progress. Operation Apex, Phase 3, begin. We never left, Drekkar. Homeworld, 60 years after the war rain fell outside the great city of Varnakar. Storm clouds rolled over shattered towers. Statues of old warriors lay broken. Inside a quiet hall, a Drekkar child sat by the fire. His name was Rek, small, curious, full of questions. "Grandfather," he asked, "is it true the humans were ghosts?" The old Drekkar elder laughed softly. His voice was tired. Scarred. "No, child," he said. "They were real. More real than we ever believed." Rek blinked. "But they were weak. We ruled the stars." The elder looked into the fire. "That's what we thought. Until they showed us. We were wrong." Flashback. The last strike. The elder began to speak, his voice low, heavy. "I remember the day the sky turned dark. Our ship stopped flying. Our leaders stopped speaking. Something invisible was cutting us apart. He closed his eyes. And then, they came. Space, Earth's last fleet, appears in orbit around the Drekar core world. Dozens of black human ships decloaked. They didn't fire at first. They just appeared. Then, every screen in the Empire lit up. Marcus Rain stood tall, gray-bearded, eyes full of fire. You erased our cities, but you forgot our souls. You buried our people, but you didn't bury our memory. You thought we were gone, but we never left. Ground invasion, but no guns. The humans landed, but not to destroy. They brought food, medicine, warnings, truth. They showed the Drekar young what had been hidden, images of Earth, history, peace before war, and then they left, without firing a shot. But the message stayed. We could have destroyed you, but we chose to wake you. Back in the hall, the child frowned. Why didn't we stop them? The elder smiled sadly. Because, child, they weren't trying to win. He leaned close. They were trying to change us. Final archive message. Found in Drekar Command Tower, discovered decades later by a new generation. The voice was Marcus Rain. Calm. Final. We were not better than you. We were not perfect. But we understood something deeper than war. You are predators. But we are apex predators. Not because we kill more, but because we endure. You came to hunt us and we let you. Because we were never hiding, we were waiting, watching, we never left. The child. Final scene. Rex stared into the fire. Will they ever come back? He whispered. The elder nodded. They never left, child. They walk between the stars, they listen, they protect. He looked up at the sky. And if we ever forget what we did, he paused. They will remind us.